Hello and welcome to the Rose Rehash. Every Monday night after The Bachelor, I recap the show and I give out awards for the episode. What an episode tonight! And listen, thank you for being here. If you're watching live, comment. If you're getting here after it's been taped, please comment. And I want you all, take a moment, subscribe to my channel. That is half the reason I'm doing this. I want people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is, to me, it's the cost of admission. So please hit that subscription button right now. All you're going to do is get an email that lets you know when I put up something new to entertain you. That's all it's all about. Subscribe to the channel, please. Also, very special announcement. I'm going to have a Valentine's Day virtual show. That means anywhere you are, you can watch it. That's right. Will you be my Valentine? And you go to my website, jaredfreid.com, jaredfreid.com to get tickets. Tickets right now are $12. They're going to go up to $15 as we get closer to the event. So it's called Will You Be My Valentine? It's on February 9th. It's at 8 o'clock. Get your beau and sit on the couch with the Sultan of Scream himself. And we're going to have special guests. I'm going to be giving dating app makeovers. I'm going to have viewer questions. So get involved. Let's get to the show. What an episode. I'm going to name this the Mean Girls episode. This episode was eye-opening. And I'm saying this as a man. I don't know. I only have heard of the female dynamic. But tonight we saw the dynamic when it gets bad amongst women. It was very female, and I'm sorry to put it on them. I'm sorry, but this is the worst. Like, if I get a lot of DMs, a lot of the DMs centered on, this is awful to watch, because we're watching women taking women down right in front of our eyes, and it's getting to the point. I'm watching this going, oh my God. Like, so we start the episode. Sarah has left. Matt James is staring off into the foliage. He doesn't know what to do. And we come back to the women at the house, and Victoria immediately says, well, it looks like the trash took out itself. And it's like, that's a mean joke. That's not nice. And someone just commented, the worst of all female qualities come out. I don't want to look like I'm not trying to mansplain something. I'm just saying, from the viewer's eye, it just was an icky look at the dynamic. And the arguments I have with my friends, my male friends, aren't like this. Go look at The Bachelorette last season. Those men did argue. They didn't like each other, all of them. Bennett had a big argument with one of the other guys. It was, and their argument was right there, right in front of you. This is a little different. This is, I'm going to trash you for the rest of time. So we come back to the women. Victoria goes, looks like the trash took out itself. And it's like, and then Katie takes on Victoria's like, don't say that. Then we have Katie versus Victoria. This was awesome to watch because Katie wasn't going to back down. She looks amazing. She sits down with her, and Victoria goes, I didn't like how you embarrassed me in front of everyone else. It's like, no, you said something horrible, Victoria. You said something horrible. I didn't like hearing that. I let you know it. It was direct, and that's the problem. Victoria doesn't like direct. She likes when she's direct and someone else cowers. So we start the episode off with two people facing off, and Katie kind of winning that battle. So then we go to a rose ceremony. We're going to have a rose ceremony right away. And Matt James comes to the house. He's talking to the women. Victoria and Matt are talking. All of a sudden, Chris Harrison says, Matt, I got to steal you away. I have a surprise. And 5 new women show up. So just as the house is starting to get a little tense, they're like, let's turn up the heat. And 5 new women come out of these out of these big SUVs. All the other women run back to the shit talking window from day one, and they all go up to the window to see what's going on because they think Sarah's coming back. Nope, 5 new women. Brittany gets out of the SUV looking, smoking, hot, goes out, takes Matt's face. Matt, the worst kisser that's ever been on the show, grabs him and shoves her tongue down his throat. And it's like, boom, new crew is here. That's it. We got a show. Brittany walks in the house and it's like shock and awe. They are not happy. The reception is not kind. A show that was already difficult became even more difficult. Then Michelle comes in. Michelle gives a nice hug. They say hello. Then Catalina, she's a former Miss Puerto Rico universe. She walks in with the sash and crown, and that is enough to send the women to explosion, because she walks in the house and they've already seen two beautiful women walk in, and then a pageant queen comes in, and Victoria literally takes the crown off of Catalina's head. And you're like, what is going on? Is this prison? Like, they reacted like there was fresh meat walking into the yard. They were like, what's up, fresh meat? Give me that crown. You hold my hand. Like, that's what it felt like. And you're like, this is crazy. And nobody was stopping it. They laughed. Victoria took the crown off her head. They're like, oh, another one bites the dust by Victoria's magic. And it's like, what? No one stands up and goes, hey, nice to meet you. I understand that you're on a show where you're competing for one man. I understand it. But there's got to be some civility. Nobody stood up and was like, hi, Brittany, nice to meet you. Hi, Catalina, welcome to the show. Oh, you're Miss Puerto Rico? Nice to meet you. No one did that. It wasn't very inviting. There were two more women that came. One of them already got booted, and then another, we haven't seen much from her. So we have 5 new women that enter the house, and then there's a rose ceremony. Women go home, but nobody, there's nobody that I can even remember going, wow, Victoria stays another week, and we lose a bunch of other people. So, okay, that's where we stand. Rose ceremony done. So now the new girls are mixing in with the regular crew. And what is happening, let me see if I can get the camera back. Okay. And what's happening is the new girls are being called the new girls, and the other women in the house are calling themselves the OGs. I don't know if you caught that. And this is what happens. This is when you start to see this, like, this tense dynamic. You have sides have been taken. We're the OGs. We're the ones who get it. You guys are the people that came in late because you guys were, the second draft of people. That's fucked up. So now they're going to go on a group date, and Ben Higgins is brought onto the show. Ben Higgins is a former Bachelor. Ben Higgins is very well liked for someone who has been on the show. The audience likes him. Bachelor Nation likes him. It feels like the producers were like, hey, Matt James is a little bit underwater here. We're going to bring in the most likable Bachelor in maybe the history of the show, and we're going to have him lead a date. And it was nice. It was nice to have him here. And, Matt's a little bit mechanical. Matt's never done this before. Ben walks in, you're like, oh, this is kind of how it's done. He's like, hey, this is the Ben Higgins date, and I used to be the Bachelor too. You might not remember. You guys were probably in grade school. And everyone's like, ah. Like, Ben Higgins comes in with the charm that you're like, oh, shit, this is a guy who's been through this before. They have a fall relay date, and this is when you start to realize that Anna and Brittany are not going to get along. Anna, during the relay, hides one of the acorns that Brittany has to find so that she can't find it. Anna did not like Brittany from the minute she walked in. And she claims, so now they go on the date. Anna gets free time with Matt. Brittany interrupts her. Of all the people, she interrupts Anna. Anna gets mad. Anna then reveals behind Brittany's back that she's gotten information from people in Chicago that Brittany might be what's it called? I'm losing the word right now. Someone commented right now saying that Brittany might be an escort. That is a harsh accusation. First of all, how is Anna getting word about Brittany before? They don't have their phones. So I don't know how Anna got this word unless they were aware that there were backup women that were there at the house, at the Nemacolin. It doesn't make sense. There's something I'm missing here. How Anna, I don't think a carrier pigeon came in and delivered a note that said Brittany, sucks off old men. Like, I don't think that happened. I don't think she found a letter in a bottle come up on the shores of a lake at the Nemacolin. How did she find out? She says people in Chicago have let her know that she runs with a very rich and old crowd. That is not, listen, whether it's true or not, and that's the problem, is you get people like anybody saying, whether it's true or not, this person is now left up to everyone else to make a decision based on how they look. It's not fair. It's actually the most messed up thing she could do, because let's say Brittany dates just older men. How unfair is that to her? So that because she dates older men, she has a certain taste that makes her someone who takes advantage of older men. What if that's what she's into? What if that's the look she likes? That's the thing. This is where the slippery slope you start to fall down it. Because it's fun to be like, oh, I heard she has an OnlyFans account. And it's not fun when she's just some woman that you're just looking at and making an assumption about. And this is where you start to see this thing where you go, like, listen, I'm on Instagram. I see all the yes, queen, go girl. There's so much female support. And then you see shit like this and you're like, what the fuck? This is an accusation that is fraught with problems. And let me know what you think. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know. Because that's a moment where you go, yeah, this is a bad accusation you're making. So now Anna makes this accusation and she lets Victoria know. Now they all know. They all think it's funny. They all think, okay, this is something we got her on. So now we go back to the house and the word is already spreading. Everyone already knows. It's as if she said it once and then all of a sudden every person in the house is like, yeah, well, Brittany's an escort. She hangs in the bottle service community. And it's like, I'm reading that comment is exactly correct. Feminism was checked at the door of the Nemacolin. I agree with that comment. Which, listen, whatever. But I'm just saying it's noticeable. So now we have a one-on-one date. It's going to be Michelle and Matt. Michelle is one of the new girls. She seems great. They seem to have a connection right away. They go on this adventure date. They just seem to be talking in a way that wasn't Bachelor speak. Usually a date on The Bachelor's like, tell me about your family. Tell me about your family. No, this felt very natural, fun. They're kissing, they're hugging. At one point, they go up in a hot air balloon, and we get to see the shit-talking ledge that now exists. They're all watching with binoculars. Him and Michelle have a great date. She's a teacher. They connect over that. It goes great. She gets a rose. Now we go to the group date number 2. This is when we really start to see the tension that's going on in this house. They go into the woods. Matt's training like he's Tony Perkis, and he's out there running up hills with a rock on his back. He's like, Mother Earth, Father Sky, and lunch is canceled due to lack of hustle. And it's like, and you're like, Matt, calm down, but fine. They get there, and they're going to be trained in how to box. And this is when I look to the producers and go, what are you doing? You know it's tense. It's not a mistake that the most tense moment that I've actually ever seen on this show since I've started watching it, they're like, hey, how about a boxing date? It's like, you guys are assholes. They didn't have a get to know your fellow woman date. They didn't have a speech giving contest. They didn't have an intellectual decathlon. No, they were like, put on the gloves. You're going to fuck each other up. And they're like, yeah. And again, we start to hear about the OGs and the new girls. Anna starts being like, if the new girls were here, we'd be ready to kick their ass. It's like, what? You want to beat someone up? Aren't you adults? So then they train and they're going to have a boxing match. Wells is there with Chris. They're calling the match. They get no time because then they start doing the matches and women are legitimately punching each other. We will hear about CTE coming out of this boxing match. People were getting, and only headshots. This professional boxing woman, couldn't she have taught them a jab or a body shot? Everything was headshots. Not one. They were just like dung, 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 dung. It looked like that game where you press the button and the rock'em sock'em robots. They didn't do one body shot, not one juke, not one move. Just all headshots. It's like, and Matt even calls the match. He goes, no, we got to stop. This is enough. At that point, Matt should have sat everyone down in a circle and been like, what's going on? But I don't even know. He doesn't seem to know. At that point, you have to say, hey, everyone seems tense. Like, doesn't Matt have to say at some point, is everyone okay? You guys seem like you're really fighting. I thought this was going to be fun. Like, didn't he notice? They get done with the boxing date. They go to, the shit talking continues. And now the women, after the boxing date, they come back to the house and all the women who are watching the boxing date are talking. And it's MJ, it's Anna, it's Victoria, it's Katie are kind of at the center of it. And the women sitting at this couch are talking like they are seniors and the new women who came into the show were freshmen. And that's when it starts to get gross. And Katie speaks up and she goes, I have to tell Matt. And she reports to Matt that there's bullying going on and people are having rumors spread about them that might ruin their lives. Now we're to be continued. That's our show. Let's go to the Batches. Let's give out some awards. Now, the Batches is where I give out roses to my favorite characters of the show and divorce papers to my least favorite characters of the show. This is going to be a very simple Rose Rehash Batchy Awards. Let me give out my roses first. The first rose goes to the Needham Cullen. The Needham Cullen Hotel has already offered more interesting dates, more interesting layouts, more interesting nature scenes, more interesting everything than the La Quinta did in the whole season. I'm enjoying my time in the Needham Cullen. I like how the M in Needham Cullen seems to be an outline of a woman's big butt, which is like a hot looking butt. I like that. So good on you, Needham Cullen. I'm going to give my second rose to Michelle. Michelle was fantastic, fun, flirty. I like that she even told the other girls, well, maybe I don't like Matt. Love that. Love that confidence. Went into that date, was purely herself. Talked about big issues, but didn't make it the whole thing. They seem to connect. I'm a Michelle fan. The last rose goes to Katie. You can tell Katie is in a tough position. You can tell she's friends with everyone in the house, but she's trying to check people on their shit. She doesn't like the bullying, but she's a part of it to an extent. So I'm giving Katie credit for pulling herself out of the bullying to say, hey, we've gone a little too far. Everyone likes to shit talk. Let me start by saying, I love to shit talk. I do that every day. But at some point, you have to know the line. And Katie is towing the line, but then pulls out to say, hey guys, enough's enough. And I respect her for that because that is hard to do. Shit talking is addictive. It tastes so sweet. It's junk food. It doesn't fill you up, but it goes down so good. And Katie has to resist temptation to say, hey, we sound a little bad right now. And and that is hard to do, and I'm giving her a rose for that. Let me give out the divorce papers. I'm going to give them out all at once, and then I'm going to get into it. I'm going to give them to the OGs. And the OGs are led by Anna, MJ, and Victoria. Those three are at the center of the shit talking. They're the center of the OGs. They acted like they were seniors in high school and that they've earned a good senior year. No, you're on The Bachelor. You're dating one man with 32 other women. That's the show. You're not the puppeteer. You're the puppet. The producers brought in 5 new women. It's up to you to act like human beings, introduce yourself, and understand that those new people had nothing to do with them showing up late and ruining your time. This is all part of the game that you signed up for. And for you guys to sit on that couch and be like, oh, they have to earn their way in here. Earn it for who? They're not here to impress you. You're talking like you guys have to run. This is our senior year, and it's going to be the best senior year ever. And no freshman's going to tell me what to do because I had to go through tryouts my freshman year for this field hockey team. And you got to know when I'm captain, I'm going to run the team the way I want to run it. No, you're on The Bachelor. You signed up just like them. They had to come a week late. They would have done anything to be there a week earlier. That's too bad on you. Cut the shit. That's the Rose Rehash. Go get tickets for the live show. That's Will You Be My Valentine? It's February 9th. And also subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week. Boom.